Hello ladies and gents, it's EZScape. 1 month from now will be my 2-year anniversary of making exclusively speedrunning content on this channel. Before this change, this channel is where I posted my old school RuneScape videos with my account that was limited to the desert region of the game without the help of any other players, also known as the desert only Ironman. A lot of the time, making challenges like these in video games were the only way to make certain games interesting for me. It takes a whole nother level of skill, patience, and knowledge of the game to be able to do it, which is definitely what drew me to speedrunning. In fact, without even knowing of speedrunning's existence, when I was 13, I discovered glitches in games like Spyro and decided to look up more online. I would sit there for hours to try and see how fast I could beat the game with the information I learned, and it wasn't until several months later I discovered modern day speedrunning. But it wasn't just the skill that drew me to speedrunning, it was also the glitches. To 13-year-old me, glitches were like seeing someone perform a magic trick, except inside of a video game. This led me to research and discover glitches in my favorite video game, RuneScape. But the difference in how glitches affected MMOs and single-player video games was huge. In a single-player game, the use of glitches can only affect an individual's experience with the game, but in an MMO, a glitch can affect everyone. But not all glitches are equal. Some are merely just graphical, and they keep the base gameplay intact, just like this old footage of me and my friend abusing a glitch, which allowed us to smuggle out the carpet ride stance. This was a pretty funny glitch, but it didn't really affect any other players. But another glitch which did affect players in a way was the Lumbridge castle Noclip on January 19th, 2012. For some reason, the upstairs portion of the Lumbridge castle in World 9 wasn't working correctly that day, and players were actually able to walk off of it and fly midair. There was nothing interesting you could do with the bug, other than maybe go revisit Tutorial Island. I was really late to the party, and by the time I got there, the glitch was already hotfixed. I can't say I wasn't disappointed about it, because this would have been my very first time no-clipping on RuneScape. But while I was in the area, I noticed that the entire top floor was still extremely glitchy. You were able to walk on all of the objects in the room that were normally solid, but the game would force you off right after walking on them. So I picked up one of the pickaxes in the room, dropped it on the cannon, and to my surprise, I couldn't pick the pickaxe back up. I decided to try and get some unsuspecting players to drop their items on the cannon, and it actually worked. After dropping their items, I would wait around for a little bit, and then telekinetic grab the items back. Although this was a long time ago, I still feel kind of bad about it. But 16-year-old me was really excited with this discovery, and after I got enough footage for the video, I stopped doing it. But you could definitely see how a glitch like this would be harmful to the game, even if only small scale. And throughout RuneScape's history, there have been a lot of monumental glitches which have affected the game for better and worse. And when I say for better, I mean glitches in the game which would later be recognized as in-game mechanics. This includes prayer flicking, which allows you to turn your prayers on and off to both gain the benefit of the prayer itself without wasting prayer points. Tick eating, which is when you eat food and the same game tick damage is dealt to you, meaning first the damage would be dealt putting your HP to 0, then the food would heal you afterwards, making it possible to tank some pretty hard hits. As well as double eating, which is just being able to eat 2 different kinds of food on the same game tick to heal more. But some glitches are more on the extreme side, and that's what I would like to talk about today, which is in my opinion, the biggest glitch in MMO history, or at the very least, RuneScape history. On December 6, 2011, Jagex had just implemented a new addition to the game HUD called the Money Pouch. This was added as a new way to carry your money around instead of in your inventory. It was convenient in the fact that you could have all of your money on you without losing it in even PvP areas. But to be honest, I feel like this was really just another update from Jagex to baby-proof the game because of other players being irresponsible with how they were playing and losing their money. I think the term is called EZScape?
EZScape, yeah. EZScape.
But little did Jagex know that the money pouch that they added in-game to help players protect their money would actually help players make money. Like, a lot of money. When the money pouch was added to the game, there was a huge oversight in the coding which allowed players to duplicate cash. It's difficult to say whether the glitch existed the moment the money pouch was added into the game, or was later added due to an update since the glitch wasn't discovered until August of 2012, 8 months after the money pouch was introduced to the game. I think a big reason for why the glitch wasn't discovered until then was because the requirement to perform the glitch was a max cash stack. A max cash stack in RuneScape is 2,147,483,647 coins. This number is a max amount of any item a player can hold in the game. This is because it is the highest 32-bit integer value in Java programming. I'm sure Jagex could have updated the game to make the max cash amount higher, but the 2,147 million cash stack is so iconic to RuneScape that I'm happy they haven't changed it. Anyways, back to the money pouch. If the money pouch has a max cash stack in it, it won't be able to hold any more coins, which means that any coins that were meant to go into the pouch would instead go to the inventory. What happens if your inventory is also full? Well, if your inventory is full, that means any items the game tries to give to you gets dropped to the ground. This is a pretty common occurrence for anyone who has ever done a clue scroll or looted a Barrow's chest. A lot of the time the rewards you get from these activities will fill up all of your inventory slots, and the rest that doesn't fit will fall straight to the floor. This game mechanic is fine and works completely as intended, as well as coins going to the inventory when the money pouch is full. However, during this time, if the game tried to add money to the money pouch, but the money pouch and the inventory were full, the coins would be dropped on the ground, but 2 piles of cash would appear instead of 1. But why would 2 piles of coins drop on the ground instead of 1? Let me explain this step by step. So the first step is finding a way to make the game send money to the account that has both a full money pouch and a full inventory, which would result in that money being dropped on the ground. Withdrawing money from the bank wouldn't work because the game doesn't let you withdraw any items if your inventory is full. This is also true for trading with other players because the game knows you won't have enough inventory slots to be able to accept the trade if the other player puts up more than you could hold. The ideas that people did come up with was entering the PvP minigame Crucible with a full inventory of items and a max cash check in their money pouch. If a player wasn't risking at least 500,000 coins in gear, they would have to pay the difference in coins as an entrance fee. By entering the Crucible and leaving right after, the game would try to give the player the entrance fee back, but since both the inventory and the money pouch were both full, they sent it to the NPC in the area named Marv, and you could collect it from him there. If you tried collecting the coins with a full inventory and money pouch, the coins would get dropped on the ground, and because of the glitch with the money pouch at the time, the coins would get doubled. This was a pretty good moneymaker at the time, clocking in at about 100 million GP per hour. But could it be better? Well, there was another option bug abusers could do, which would be to alchemize items in their inventory to turn them into gold coins. And if the money pouch inventory were full, the coins would get dropped to the ground and get doubled. But this still wasn't better than the Crucible method. Then someone came up with the idea to try staking the money at the duel arena. When staking another player in the duel arena, you can put up any amount of wealth, which means that if this were to work, duplicating a max cash stack would be possible. Unfortunately, like what happens with the bank and trading players, if your inventory was too full to accept additional items, you wouldn't be able to accept the duel. There ended up being an extremely easy workaround for this, which was that you could accept the stake with one inventory slot open, but once you were in the duel, unequip one item giving you a full inventory. If you were to win the stake at this point, the coins would have nowhere else to go but the floor. So let's go through this one more time, and I'll try my best to explain why the glitch occurred. You would need 2 accounts. Account number 1 needed to have a full inventory with at least 1 open space, needed to wear at least 1 piece of equipment, and needed to have a full money pouch. Account number 2 just needed to have the amount of gold that was wanted to be duped, which would have most likely been a max cash stack, but any amount would still work. Next, both of the accounts would stake each other. Account number 2 would put up the amount of gold that was wanted to be duped, and they would both just accept the default rolls from there. Once in the duel, account number 1 would unequip their item, making their inventory completely full, and account number 2 would forfeit the duel, so that the gold would be awarded to account number 1. The game would instantly try to add the money to the money pouch, but it would see that the money pouch was full, and since the inventory was also full, the cash got dropped straight to the ground. Now I've seen a couple of explanations of why this glitch works, but to be honest, it's hard to be 100% certain because RuneScape is coded in a programming language known as Runescript. This language is closed source, and all Jagex employees have to sign NDAs to not share the information. So unfortunately, we couldn't really look into the game code to make sure of what caused it. What I believe to have happened was that the game was trying to give gold to both the money pouch and the inventory at the same time, but since they were both full, 2 sacks would appear on the floor. I wish I could give you a more detailed explanation with more certainty, but unless Jagex wants to come forward with this little slice of RuneScape history, there isn't much else I can do. If this glitch was performed optimally, it would be able to make 100 billion gold per hour, and by the time the glitch got patched, roughly 1 trillion gold was added to the RuneScape economy. I checked the gold prices in July of 2012, before the abuse of the glitch, and gold was selling for about 55 cents per mil to 75 cents per mil. Even if I use a 55-cent gold price, this would still mean that this money making method made around $55,000 US per hour, and the amount of money spawned into the game was worth about $550,000. Now this doesn't mean everyone actually sold the gold for that amount. Once the bug got leaked and more people were doing it up until the removal of the glitch on August 7, 2012, gold prices went from a 55 to 75 cent range to 30 to 45 cent range, which was about a 50% decrease. 17 high-profile accounts were listed on the Jagex homepage that had been permanently banned, some of which were max accounts, and the average playtime on the list was about 250 days game time. One of the accounts that was on the list wasn't actually banned right away, so I thought that was pretty funny. At one point I also had an account with that much playtime, and it also had max stats, so I know exactly how it would feel to lose an account like that. So I guess if I had to ask myself if I had known about the glitch, would I have abused it in exchange for all of those days played? Of course I would have. I would sell my feet for that kind of money. What are you talking about? No, but seriously, I probably would have done it. I mean, I'm just being honest with myself. Money like that would mean going through an entire college education, paid out of pocket with no loans, and then Jagex quits the game for you? Like, that's the best scholarship program I've ever heard of for playing a video game. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I was thinking about doing an entire series on a lot of these huge glitches in RuneScape, so if you guys like this video and want to see more, leave a like, and if there's enough support, I'll do more. Special thanks to the Plague Doctor, who was a prominent bug abuser around those days, who helped me with this video. I used to watch bug abuse videos made by him so much back in the day that it was really cool to work with him. Other than that guys, subscribe if you like this video and want to see more glitching and speedrunning related content. Check out my merch store for more speedrunning related merch, and as always, I hope you have a beautiful life.
I say that phone goes on D&D. Let's put on some P&D. Slip out of that dress for me. Kiss all on my neck for me. Yeah, you know what's best for me. Yeah. I ain't gotta light up. You know I'm down to try it all on my overnight shit. Run it.